Hello, welcome back to another amazing episode of Digital Health Podcast. So, my name is Khazar Shahid and I'm the host of Digital Health Podcast. My co-host Anthony Vigo is unable to join today because he has some engagements and he's out of city. So, let me first introduce myself to the audience who are brand new to our channel. So I started with the dental practices and then I collaborated with my business partner and my co-host Anthony, and we started this digital health podcast along with our AI and marketing SEO agents. And now we are working with a lot of healthcare professionals. We are working with psychotherapists, psychologists, cardiologists, dentists, and a lot of other healthcare professionals. So this is the brief introduction about me and about us as well. Now I want to kick it over to our guest.
Hi, my name is Giorgia. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and dream coach at Lucid Mind Hypnotherapy, and I specialize in sleep issues and dreaming.
Wow, amazing. First, by the way, first of all, I want to mention this specifically that you are the first hypnotherapist in our podcast. We have talked to psychotherapists, we have talked to psychologists, dentists, cardiologists, and a lot of other healthcare professionals, but you are the first hypnotherapist in our podcast. So I think it would be an amazing conversation and it would be amazing to have you on our episode. So the first question that we usually ask to our guests is how you got into the healthcare domain. Like, was it your passion or was it the family pressure, or how you got into the healthcare domain?
Okay, so some people has got like a straight path, and in my case was like a long twisted pathway. So I train in many different things. So I grew up like training as a musician, and then I move into pure maths. So I have a bachelor's in mathematics, and from there I started traveling. So for a few years my house was just my backpack, and I was very interested in sustainable living, horticulture. So I train also as an horticulturist. Now, how I came through. When I was traveling, I left my hometown and my country just to traveling and learn new things. But I also was always been interested in a little bit learning about consciousness and how we deal and we create a reality with our mind. So that was a little bit always been there. Since I was in high school, I was the philosophical girl, always raising the big questions. So during my travels, I start my meditation practice and my spiritual practice. And through that, I start to meet people who would approach the spirituality with the intent of overcoming some mental health. It's almost like they were looking for a solution. But unfortunately, if you approach spirituality without looking first at the psychological level, you tend to bypass the real problem underneath. So this is called in the technical term is called the spiritual bypassing, where you want to reach that state, but actually underneath you still have a psychological level that you need to deal with. We are talking about our dark shadow that we try to sweep down the bed, down the carpet, just try not to say that. So since then I started to get more interested about that, and I did practice on myself, but I also started developing that passion and say I would like to help others too. Now, psychology and psychotherapy has never been really my interest, in the sense that I was interested in something quicker. I was looking for that shift that could happen on a quicker level. Now, hypnotherapy cannot cure everything. There are some stuff that still need to go to a professional psychotherapist and psychiatrists and other people. Okay, so if someone comes for deep depression, for example, I wouldn't be able to deal with that. Okay, so I'm not talking about everything, but I'm talking about little things like blushing, or being able to stop a bad habit, or being able to speak in front of a public without having a panic attack. Right, all these little things. Is there a way out there that can be quicker than years of therapy? And that start twisted a little bit my attention and my interest. So during my traveling, I started learning more and more about how the mind works. And finally, I approached hypnotherapy actually through another interest of mine that was dreaming. So I started practicing like recalling my dream and practicing something that is called lucid dreaming. So that is the art of becoming aware in your dreams while you're dreaming. This practice itself utilize actually indirectly some hypnotherapy technique, some hypnotherapy technique. So from there, I said, oh, this is interesting. So I started learning about hypnotherapists that I've never heard before. And from there, and from my interest of wanting to help others and solve that little mental health issues in a quicker way, then I started training myself as a hypnotherapist, and here I am. So here I am, like mixing the clinical hypnotherapy side with also the dreaming side of things.
Wow, amazing. So your whole journey was a roller coaster, from
Yeah.
the musician to the traveler, then to the hypnotherapist. So far, what I have in my mind regarding the hypnotherapy is what I have seen in the movies. Like people use the hypnotherapy, or people hypnotize the other people just to gain the control of their minds, so that they can let them do what they want them to do. So I also want you to break some myths here today in our podcast, like how hypnotherapy help people relieve pain, how hypnotherapy help people come out of their grief and stuff like, because there is a lot of myths around the hypnotherapy.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the cinema culture has always pictured hypnotherapy like a mind control, okay? So now stage hypnosis is different from hypnotherapy, okay? They are using the same technique because we are always talking about hypnosis, but stage hypnosis is there to entertain you, right? To make fun, okay? To have fun, right? So we don't have the same goal. We are not achieving the same things, okay? However, I have to say, from a hypnosis point of view, they are great. They are really good, okay? So they are doing their job very well. However, I want to break the myths, like you said. Hypnosis is not mind control. Now, when you see stage hypnosis and you see the volunteer who come up to the stage to be hypnotized as a passive thing, you need to think about that they are there with the idea already to show up as a good subject, to show up and in front of other 200 people and show that actually they can do the things that they've been asked to do. And this is bring us back to the fact that hypnosis cannot exist without your will. Okay? So if you don't want to be hypnotized, you cannot be hypnotized, because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, first of all. Okay, so this is breaking the myth of someone coming to you and make you think things. No, it's you first that you decide, I'm going to have fun and stand up on the stage and do whatever he tell me to do, okay? So in the hypnotherapy, it's totally much safer. I'm not going to put anything on you. It's you telling me what is your goal, and together we are working in achieving that goal, okay? So that we have a broad range of things that hypnotherapy can help with, but is made, first of all, there is an assessment. We look at everything around your background and make it personal, okay? So that is always like a very individual therapy. So, yeah. And what I want to say is just hypnosis, if you want to describe it as a definition, it is just a focus state of relaxed awareness, okay? So think about that when you come into the practice of an hypnotherapy session, you're just following a guided meditation. So just relaxing, and while you're relaxing, your kind of more active conscious awareness get a little bit softer. And because it gets a little bit softer, is always we can access some deeper layer of our mind. But you are in control all the time. So the day that your phone ring, you are awake again. It's like if something happens, you are there. If you don't want to do what we are going to do, you can tell me stop. It's like you're in control all the time. So you're present. You're not sleeping. You're not under an influence, and we work with your goals.
Perfect, amazing. So what we have seen so far in the movies, that people get the control of other individuals and let them murder someone, kill someone, or steal something using the hypnotherapy. So you just broke the biggest myth about the hypnotherapy. So please tell our audience that who is the ideal individuals who needs the hypnotherapy. Like there are psychologists, there are psychotherapists, and now you are doing the psychotherapy. So who are the ideal client? Who are your ideal clients, or who are the ideal individuals with the hypnotherapy to relieve their pain, to relieve their grief, or to help them achieve their goals?
Okay, so because my specialization is sleep, I work mostly with people who struggle to fall asleep, or maybe they wake up in the middle of the night and they cannot fall asleep again, or even people who don't have a good sleeping pattern and they wake up always feeling tired. Okay, so this is my, let's call it ideal client, because I focus more on insomnia and sleep issues. However, hypnotherapy can be much broader than that. And I work as well with other kind of issues. So we are talking about bad habits. The most common, probably the most well-known bad habit is smoking. So a lot of people come to hypnotherapy for smoking cessation. That's very effective. Can be nail biting, can be teeth grinding, can be all sort of like kind of habits that you want to remove, and they are unconsciously coming up, right? So we would like to stop them, but somehow subconsciously they keep appearing. We keep doing them. Okay, so hypnotherapy can really help with that, because it go at the subconscious level, at the deeper level of the mind, and work with that part that is keeping you repeating that habit. Now, you mentioned grief. Yeah, of course, we can work with grief. We can work with low mood. We can work with confidence, right? We can work with fears and phobia. That's very effective as well. There are some fears and phobias that people carry for most of their life, right? And then in one session, they can literally go away. So it's quite effective. It's quite impressive to see the outcomes and how it works. Also, we can work with weight management. I have a program with weight management, because weight management, again, is like a program, because you need to do other things, like you need to maybe do that physical side as well. But sometimes it's almost like subconsciously we are holding the weight, okay? There is something a little bit extra. Or it might be that we procrastinate in exercise, okay? So all these kind of things. I just mentioned procrastination. Procrastination is something I've been working with as well as a lot, right? So it's quite broad. There are quite a few things we can work with. The difference, I would say, that someone come with something a little bit deeper, let's say a long-term depression, can be bipolar disorder, these kind of things. I'm not trained to do that, okay? But for all the things I mentioned before, hypnotherapy, absolutely effective. Another area is pain management. Pain management is research quite a lot. There is a lot of research around IBS, so it's very effective. Is also here, I'm based in the UK, it is also supported by our healthcare national system, the NHS, so it is recognized as a solution for IBS.
Sounds good, amazing. So how hypnotherapy, or how you help people not to have the sleepless nights, to get rid of insomnia? Like, I want to understand, and I want our audience to understand that how hypnotherapy help in this regard, not to have the sleepless nights, to get rid of insomnia and stuff like this.
Okay, so I work within a program, okay? Usually it's 4 or 5 sessions. so we can look at different sides, because we are not all the same, okay? People come to me with insomnia, but insomnia can be struggling to fall asleep, that is one thing, or it can be that they can fall asleep easily and then suddenly at 3 a.m. they wake up and they cannot fall asleep again, okay? So there are different situations. So the thing is, the first at all, we are going to look at clean sleep. I mean, everyone who suffer insomnia know about that. However, I want to make sure that we have the basis. The clean sleep is knowing about our routine, our bed routine. How is it going? What we are doing, okay? I had a client that came to me like looking for the solution, but they were waking up at 3 a.m. in the night, and what were they doing? They were watching news at 3 a.m. in the morning. So of course it's not going to calm down, right? So we want to make sure that we have that routine that is stopping ourselves that 1 hour, 2 hours before we go to sleep. And that clean sleep, it means like we don't watch screen, we try to calm down, we are not going to do exercise just before falling asleep because it might energize us, you know? So we're going to look at these things, and this is usually the first session. The first session usually also give an audio that is made for the person, so it's quite personal, okay? So it's not a general audio. After the assessment, I understand what are the things that the person need in the audio. The audio function as let's call it self-hypnosis. So it's something that you listen in the evening before falling asleep, and is helping you to calm down first, but also to retrain the learning that we have picked it up around sleep. So somehow the people who cannot fall asleep have learned that sleep is not safe. So we need to relearn that. We need to retrain our mind and associate sleep with something that is safe, that's something that is easy, natural. Right? So that's the work what you are doing. That is only the first session, of course. In the second session, we are going to start the real work. That is more the hypnotherapy kind of side, the mindset side, that is going back to the root. When did we pick up this learning? It has to be at some point in our life in the past, we picked up that sleep is not safe. The reason for that is unique for every person. So I cannot tell you why, because everyone has got a different background, different reason, and so that is totally personal, and will be like going back. It's called the regression. You go back to the regress in time and find out where was the learning, and we relearn that moment in a different way. Of course, then the program the program go on, and then we do other little bits. But that's the main things I will start with. Sorry.
Okay. And how long does it take for a person to get rid of sleepless nights or insomnia if he or she starts taking the hypnotherapy sessions?
Yeah, like I said, I usually do 4 or 5 sessions. It can take less. For some people, it can take a little bit more for others. It depends, okay? Usually, 3-4 sessions, you already see the changes, for sure, okay? So yeah, that's quite quick. Of course, okay. There is some work on the person side, right? It's not only me doing the work. They people come. We have. I always suggest to keep a journal, to do some changes in the routine. You know, there is some action on their side. So when the person is involved in the program and they do the work on their side as well, then 3-4 sessions is a good.
Okay, sounds good, amazing. Okay, now I want to shift our conversation towards the technology aspect. Like, how do you see the technology, or how do you see the AI if you have started implementing the AI in your practice, in your workflows, or if you are using the latest technology or AI to improve the patient experience in your practice for your patients? So how do you see the technology evolving in the healthcare domain?
Well, yeah, that's a good question, because the AI is going to change. Let's speak about the healthcare sector for sure. I'm going to speak about hypnotherapy specifically. So part of the hypnotherapy work is based about script. Okay, so the scripts are guided meditation that, for example, I give in the first session to the client, right? Now, those scripts can be done by AI nowadays. The problem with that, so there are a lot of people that are implementing in their practice some AI tools to create these scripts automatically. Now, I tried myself, and I have to say that in some way they are very good, but in some other way there are a little bit of faults, okay? Because it's still a machine. I studied the language, the hypnotherapist language. This is a machine. So it's always better to have someone who check, okay? If someone that didn't study any hypnotherapy and just want to make a script themselves using AI, yeah, they can do. There might be a nice guided meditation, but is it using the right language? It's better to check, okay? That is very important. So I saw hypnotherapists already implemented that. So of course it's going to replace that side. But hypnotherapy is not script-based, okay? So as I mentioned, the script is only the first session because I give you the audio, but that is part of the self-hypnosis that you do at home. The real hypnotherapy is much more interactive, okay? There is no script that is done to you. You will see there will be technique that we work together. So the actual client, when he comes to session with me, is speaking to me. Is not just passively receiving what I say, okay? So there are techniques that come from the hypnotherapy, NLP. I use also EFT, that is tapping. You know, I study different things and then I use it as tools in my practice, and they sum up and they help the client depending on how it evolves the therapy.
I totally agree. Like AI can be a helper for you, AI can be assistant for you, but AI cannot be a, end-to-end therapist or healthcare professional, or specifically we can say a hypnotherapist consultant for you. Because okay, so how do you feel when people come to you and they say that have been using we have been talking to Claude and to Chat GPT to help us in relieving in solving our issue, like to get rid of insomnia, to help get rid of sleepless nights, because people are using Chat GPT. People are asking questions Chat GPT that I am having this problem. I am having this problem. Please help me out. People are talking to Claude. So how do you feel? So, and what is your first reaction to those patients or those clients?
I would be careful with that. So this is something different, right? This is like chatting with a AI chat box and replacing with the person with a AI tool. So I did some research for curiosity, because I know that the majority of people apparently uses AI chat bots for mental health actually. So it's actually the most used tool for mental health. That is quite scary, right? Because we are giving our mental health to an AI. So what is going to happen? What are they going to talk about? But the problem is also that tendentially, I mean, I've been using AI myself for marketing and things like that. It's very useful. We can collaborate with AI. I think there are some good things there, but in terms of mental health, it becomes very dangerous because not ChatGPT, in general, AI, there are different tools we can use, it seems like it's set up as a people pleasing, right? So every time we make a question, it seems like giving us the right. So what happened that instead of challenging us, it will become like someone leading to where we want to go. That is not the point. The point is like to find the things that we cannot see ourselves, but also the challenges that maybe we don't want to see and someone just present in front of us. And that's the part of the therapy really that is missing when we chat with AI bots. But also dangerous because we don't know where we are going, right? I mean, it's a machine eventually. So we need to be careful with that. I saw that doing a lot. I had a few clients coming back to me with their problem, but their problem were clearly written by AI. So I said, be careful because you are assessing yourself and assessing your mental health through a bot. So,
Exactly.
so it might not be even what you have, but you have decided to say, yeah, it's right. I have this. Well, let's talk about maybe it's not. not, so we need to, yeah, so it's a little bit dangerous on that side, but unfortunately a lot of people are using it. And I personally have friend and they told me I found it useful. So some people still use it and they will keep using it. I just say that we need to be careful. We need to be careful how
Exactly.
much you use it and for what.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. Like AI can be helpful for you, AI can be assistant for you, but AI cannot replace a human being. AI cannot replace a healthcare professional who has been working in his or her domain for the last 20 years, for the last 15 years, or for the last 10 years. So definitely I agree with you. So amazing conversation with you. Just to wrap up our conversation, we usually end the podcast with two questions, and those are the first question: what are the best ways for our audience to reach out to you, or what are the best ways if anyone have question related to insomnia, sleepless nights, or want to connect with you? And the second question: what is the one powerful message that you leave for our audience?
Okay, so how to get in touch with me? I have a website. It's called Lucid Mind Hypnotherapy.com. You can find more information there about sleeps, other issues as well, hypnotherapy in general, and also about dreaming and lucid dreaming. I have also an Instagram account, again, Lucid Mind Hypnotherapy, and you can find me also on Facebook and LinkedIn. LinkedIn will be with my name, that will be Giorgia Bettelli at Lucid Mind Hypnotherapy. So the message.
The one powerful message.
um, so
It could be anything about the healthcare, about the AI, about the hypnotherapy, insomnia, sleepless nights, or whatever suits, whatever seems you best. It could be anything.
I live with this idea of looking at the misbeliefs around sleep. We grow up with a lot of beliefs from our culture, okay? So it can be like I must sleep in a continuous block of time. This is a misbelief, okay? There are different people who sleep in different phase, okay? So this is one. Or it could be like I didn't sleep at all last night, but that again is a misbelief that we put in our mind. Actually we sleep, but somehow we think we didn't sleep again.
Hmm.
Or I need the snooze button in the morning, otherwise I cannot sleep very well. Actually the snooze button is very bad for you, okay? Because it's pushing a lot of hormones as soon as you wake up, and the body is ready to wake up, and what you're doing instead is going back to sleep. But that 10 minutes snooze button is not enough for you to get the proper rest, okay? So there are a lot of disbeliefs or things that we need to relearn about sleep. And so maybe to be careful what people think, what people say, and do proper research and create a routine that is personal to you, because whatever people say at the end of the day is your unique routine, your unique mind, and your unique way to react to life and emotion.
Amazing. It was really honored for us, Georgia, to have you on our podcast and do the myth busting regarding the hypnotherapy. Because the only thing we have in our mind about the hypnotherapy is what we have seen in the movies, in the films. So it was great honor for us to have you on our podcast. Once again, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me here.